I am so excited for author Fran Littlewood. She's with us. Her debut novel, Amazing Grace Adams, was my September Read with Jenna pick. It's a New York Times bestseller.
Congratulations. And this is one a lot of folks can relate to. Let's take a look inside the book.
When we meet Grace Adams, she's having a spectacularly bad day. She's stuck in London traffic, desperately trying to deliver a birthday cake to her 16-year-old daughter's birthday party that she wasn't even invited to. It's in that moment of rage that the 45-year-old decides she's had enough. Amazing Grace Adams is a hilarious and heartwarming story of one woman who's determined to reclaim her family and herself. And she's not letting anything stand in her way.
I'm in. We are so excited because Fran joins us right now alongside the Read, Laugh, Eat, and Drink book club. All of my favorite things.
What a fun book club.
They are from Westwood, New Jersey. Fran, I'm so happy to meet you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
In person. Okay, I think we can all relate to this point in our lives when sort of expectations don't meet reality. Where does Grace come from?
Yeah, where did she come from? Well, she comes from, I was hitting these ages, this sort of post-40 thing, and I just didn't feel how everybody tells you you're supposed to feel, this notion that you pass the age of 40, you are no longer interesting, you're over the hill, you're downtrodden, you're boring. And I just felt this isn't how I feel, it's not how the women around me seem. And so I wanted to kind of rewrite the narrative a bit of the sort of societal perception of what women over 40 are like. I wanted to write something that was honest and raw and visceral, so a kind of warts and all thing. But
you know what grabbed my attention? We heard that you would write down things that your kids would say, you kind of saved them, and then you used this dialogue, right?
Yeah,
With three girls.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, look at that. You really did save them.
I was on the, yes.
So did
my top level research.
How cool is that? Did that influence your story a little bit?
Well, do you know, it's so funny. There is a kind of whole language angle in the book, which I so loved writing. Grace is a polyglot, so she speaks these kind of 5 languages so beautifully. And in fact, she meets her husband Ben at a polyglot conference, and he's also polyglot, and it's this sort of huge love affair initially before they become estranged. And yes, I think it's that whole kind of fascination with language. And my kids were young, and I've got a terrible memory, so I used to jot down things that they said. You know, those crazy things that kids say, like the mispronunciations or the quite sort of zen or quite wise stuff that they say. So I wrote them down, just jotted on little post-it notes and stuff. And when I came to, I think because I was thinking in that language space, I just thought I wanted to make the kind of the language of the daughter, Lottie, when in the flashbacks when she was younger, more authentic.
Yeah.
It can be quite saccharine, I think, sometimes writing kids' language.
Yes.
So I took the words that my kids said then and put it into the book, so they're sort of stitched into that book.
That's so much fun and fun for them. Okay, we have to get to questions from our book club. Tonya, what's your question?
We were wondering, was it intentional that you made Grace a linguist due to she had such terrible times communicating with her family?
She can speak a million languages, but she's not a great communicator.
No, she can, and I really loved investigating that kind of this irony of the fact that although she speaks these 5 languages so beautifully, she can't find the words at any point to kind of communicate her heart sickness and her grief at what's happened to her family, at what's gone very wrong. Yeah. And I think it's something that happens in families. It happens, you know, despite your best intentions with any relationship and with your kids. So, yeah, I've so enjoyed investigating.
All right, we have one more question from Lauren.
Yes. So I noticed you referenced yoga, energy chakras, and meditation. And I was just wondering if you practice yoga, because I am a yoga teacher. So so I just wondered if you practice it, and if you don't, what do you do to ground yourself or make yourself feel love and joy?
Yeah, I love this question because, yes, I do. And I have been doing yoga since, in fact, so my oldest daughter is 19 now. Unbelievably.
How is that possible?
Yeah. And I started when I was pregnant with her. But I don't seem to be getting any better. I mean, I have an amazing yoga teacher who sort of, and I sort of referenced in the book, Grace talks about her yoga teacher who has kind of the face of a 30-year-old and the body of a contortionist, and Grace says that she does not.
You know, can we just say that this is your first novel? It's taken you a while to get here. So for anybody that's thinking about pursuing dreams, what do you say?
Yeah, I think it's that the midlife space that I'm writing about, and this notion that it's never too late. I'm 51, which I am coming to terms with, and I think I feel like they can be real renaissance years. It can be a tough time as well, with your kids kind of growing up and away. away, and all the huge pressures, I think, on women in the middle of their lives from kind of all angles, aging parents, and the joy of teens. But yeah, I think there can also be this sort of return to a more authentic self in a way. You just kind of
Cheers
care
to
less.
that.
Yeah, we love that. She's running a marathon.
Years. I know.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Fran. It was such a pleasure to meet you.
So nice
and I
to meet
loved
you.
your book. You guys, if you haven't read it, did y'all not love this book?
Amazing.
It's never too late. For more information on amazing Grace Adams, one of the world's best covers. You notice what Grace Adams is doing. You can head to today.com/readwithjenna or buy it wherever you get your indie books.
I love that. I'm going to crash your book club.
Yeah, me too.
What was it called again?
Read, eat, drink, laugh.
I mean, seriously.
All the things we love.
All right.